Hey, Ann Sieg here, and I am in day 3 of my current 5-day gratitude challenge. This was issued to me by my good friend Paul Harmon. He epitomizes gratitude. He is one of the most generous people, I don't want to say that I've ever met. I've met a lot of generous people, but I had the privilege of getting to know him, what is that, about 4 years ago with the project I did, the Great Wealth Transfer Conference. He was spectacular. Just did so much to make that a really stellar event that I hosted down in Austin. Again, that was about 4 years ago. I think that was April of 2011. So thank you, Mr. Paul Harmon. All right, day 3. Here's what I'm going to focus on. I think all of you guys know Maslow's need hierarchy. You know, the triangle, and there at the bottom, it's at the human level, human experience. We start with our fundamental needs. We need water, we need shelter, we need clothing, we need food. Okay, and then as you move up the hierarchy of needs, you then reach that pinnacle of self-actualization. So, you know, it's interesting with that. I really try to be mindful, and on the whole, I think I'm pretty good about this. I get to breathe in fresh air, fresh, clean air. I have a son who lives in Ningbo, China right now. That's not the case in Ningbo. There's been days where they have this fog alert from the pollution. It'll run a full week, and my son has gotten sick from it. So I'm like, oh man, I'm so grateful for clean, fresh air. And I live in a metro area. I appreciate clean water. I especially began to appreciate, you know, like artesian well kind of water when I lived down in Hot Springs. We went in almost every week and we get our water that came fresh out of the earth. And now my husband does go weekly, and he gets water, and it was at a former brewery here in downtown St. Paul, and he pays to get that water, and so we enjoy that water, which is not chlorinated, the stuff that comes out of the tap. I appreciate that. I appreciate warmth. I appreciate shelter. I appreciate a warm, snuggly bed at the end of the day. You know, these basics. And what I want to focus on are the people in my life who help me realize my dreams and my potential, because that moves up into the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where you get into, self-actualization. And so for however dreams and ambitions fit into that, I didn't pull out that hierarchy of needs to get a fresh reminder of it. I just know that's the general concept there. Anyways, I bet all of you can relate to a time when you were growing up where you were inspired by something, some event in your life that made you go, I want to be like that. Whether you heard a song, you saw a sports figure, whatever it is, and you're like, you know, that source inspiration, that ignition phase where you're like, I want to be like that. Well, that's what happened to me in 1976, and actually it had to precede that. It was 1972, yes, it was, the Olympics. And I was one of the actual millions of little girls who were watching the Olympics. And when I saw Olga Korbut, and then the next Olympics, it was Nadia Comaneci, which the result of those two gymnasts spawned numerous gyms across the United States, gymnastics gyms. And so that became that ignition phase for me. I was so tremendously inspired. And I'm kind of this person, when I set my mind to something, it's like done. You know, I'm just so there. That end game visualization, you know. And so I was in earnest to become a little gymnast like Olga Korbut and Nadia Comaneci. Well, as part of my plan, oh, you know what? I had to get strong. So I asked my dad, can you put together a pull-up bar for me? And we live in a northern climate. We're in Minnesota, so it can't be just outside. No, not in the winter when you're trying to do pull-ups. So we put that up in what's called our utility room. And I have a picture for you, I should say, because I went to my parents' home and I took pictures of it. And who is hanging from this? I hope I have the picture. Is my dad. And then my brother and sister happened to be there, and they all tried doing a pull-up too, and it was kind of a fun exercise. But it was my dad who helped me realize that dream for myself to become a gymnast. I also wanted a balance beam, and I needed to practice at home. So he actually made me a full-length balance beam. No, not just a 2x4. Heck no. No, my dad, he created the whole design where, you know how a balance beam curves like that, measured the dimensions and everything. And I would haul that heavy thing out every day to practice out in the yard in the warm months. And then I would practice indoor in the winter. And I practice and I practice and I practice. And so I thank my dad, that special person in my life, who helped support me in that whole dream phase, my aspiration to be a successful gymnast. Well, that ended up being my career. I went on to become a sports coach, a gymnastics coach for 15 years, and I loved it. I loved it. I eventually had to quit. It kind of brings tears to my eyes because I didn't quit because I was tired of it. Some people quit a vocation because they're tired of it. I was never tired of it. My body just couldn't handle it anymore. I ended up in so much pain with constant inflammation, my tendons, and my husband said, I think this needs to end, Ann. It would get to a point I couldn't even make dinner and stuff. So anyways, thank you to my dad. Thank you to all the people who help others realize their dreams and their potentials, who support them in that cause without questioning it. Like, you know, what the heck? Why gymnastics, Ann? That's kind of, why don't you do baseball instead? No, I was inspired to do gymnastics, and my dad supported me in that. And so I tip my hat to all those who support other people as they go into their dreams, their self-actualization. To me, that's the epitome of living life fully, is when you move beyond what those of us who are so blessed to move beyond that, the basics of you know, so many centuries of humanity has been having to forage for food on a daily basis and so many hours of the day devoted to mere existence. And we're so blessed, those of us who actually go into that more experiential realm. That's a blessing, and I don't take it for granted at all. And so I consider it a great privilege on my end as well, when I can help others realize their particular dreams, ambitions, and aspirations, as I'm a teacher and trainer in my respective industry, teaching internet marketing, attraction marketing, etc. So that's my gratitude. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll probably have a video for day 4. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye.